Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Friday, it's June 18th, 2021. I will be, just before we get into this video, I want to talk about tonight. I will be live streaming tonight. I have a big announcement for you guys regarding the Prepper Get-Together. Some very good news for people for the Prepper Get-Together. So, I'm not sure what the topic of the live stream is going to be yet tonight because I haven't sat down and figured that part out. But whatever it is, we'll have a good discussion. So I definitely encourage you all to join me tonight for the live stream. Okay, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will go from there. So, following up on yesterday's video, and I was talking about stuff, and I was having a conversation with Joel, the plumber. Oh wait, before we get started, guys, really quickly, in the comments, if you would, my best friend, we've been friends for more than 20 years. He was actually my best man when I married the kid's mom. So, I mean, we've been friends for a long, long time. And today is his birthday. So if you guys would give a quick shout out in the comments to Steve and wish Steve a happy birthday, I would appreciate that. He's down in Maryland, and good dude. Like I said, I've known him for more than 20 years, and we've been friends a long, long time. And it was funny because it's like as soon as we had met, we hit it off right off the bat, and there's 9 days difference in our age. And yes, I'm older. So today is his birthday, so please wish Steve a happy birthday. All right, so let's get into the topic. So anyway, I want to talk about. So Joel was here finishing up what he had to finish up yesterday, and so we were doing that, and so him and I got talking, of course, because I will talk prepping all day long till I'm blue in the face, and it was funny because he said to me, he goes, man, he goes, you know so much, he goes, you should write a book. And I said, yeah, I said, you're not the first person that told me that. He goes, how do you know all this stuff? And I go, you know what, man, it's just years and years and years of doing it and living it and everything else. But anyway, so we got to talking, and one of the major points that I got out of the conversation, and I think I drove it home to him as well, and a lot of you out there, I want you to think about this, okay? Because I think this is really, really important, and I think a lot of people don't think about this. So people are stocked up, right? You got a good amount of supplies, you're stocked up, and you have your freezers. And people will have 2, sometimes 3 freezers full of meat, full of other supplies and stuff like that. Well, in a grid down situation, people have lost, thousands of dollars worth of food because of a grid down situation, any kind of time there's been a hurricane or stuff like that, if they did not have an alternative power source to keep those freezers going. So here's the point that I want to make, and because I had spoke to him, and he's like, well, yeah, I have a generator, and I said, okay. I go, well, how much gas do you keep on hand? He goes, oh, probably 20 gallons. I said, how long do you think that would last you in a grid down situation? Even if you were, and I want you guys to think about this, even if you were running 8 hours on, run the generator for 8 hours to keep the freezer up to a certain level, turn it off, not open the freezer up and stuff like that, how long could that last? Not a long time. And I said, so number one, what you need to think about, he says, because he's likes venison, so he's a big hunter, so he has a lot of his meat venison wise in these freezers. And so, I said, there's a couple things you got to think about. Number one, definitely having more gas on hand to help tide you over in that type of a situation. And so, having more gas on hand to prolong it. I said, the second thing you're going to want to really think about, grid down situation, worst case scenario, you better be focused on getting and eating as much out of those freezers as you possibly can, because you're not going to be able to run those generators forever for that reason. Now, obviously, an alternative would be to have something in the ground, underground, and have some kind of freezer, like the Amish would do, or I had talked about having an underground, like a root cellar, but have part of it coordinated off, and use 5-gallon buckets and fill them with salt water, and freeze them, and do it that way. And then that way it'll bring that temperature from 58 degrees down to 32 degrees. That way you wouldn't have to worry about your stuff ever unfreezing, because it would stay frozen there. You wouldn't need electricity to do so. Okay. So that's something that you need to think about. It's something that people really I don't think really wrap their heads around, because it's not something that you need to think about every single day. But the fact that it is very, very fragile, and if you don't have that backup generator, and even if you do have the backup generator, how long is it going to last in that type of situation? So you're going to be eating as much as you possibly can out of those freezers as quickly as you can. And to me, it's a poor utilization of that gasoline. If you have XYZ amount of gas on hand, I normally keep, like for me, I'm now up to about 140 gallons of gas. Okay, that's what I keep on hand. But the majority of that gas for me, the way I look at it, is going to go to run that chainsaw, or my chainsaws, I have 2 of them, to run them to be able to process as much wood as we possibly could. Also, probably the splitter as well, because the splitter I have behind the woodshed here. So I would probably utilize that for those reasons. And so, and realistically, depending on how many people would be here and it would be a post event, we probably wouldn't use the splitter at all. We would probably just split everything by hand, where people would be taking turns splitting wood. But again, while you had the resources to be able to do it, you could process a tremendous amount of wood. So probably using the splitter as long as we could, as long as we had gas, and utilizing that gas to cut as much wood, to be as far as you could, before you got to a point where you had to do everything by hand because there would be no more gas available. That's how I plan on utilizing my gas at that time, and going from there. Because you just never know. I mean, realistically, you just never know. So, but again, talking about freezers, and a lot of people have freezers. I mean, even in your refrigerator, you have your freezer. I have the freezer in my place. They have the freezer in their place. Both of our freezers are full. Our situation, obviously, being off-grid is a little bit different. Grid down situation is not going to affect us unless it was an EMP, of course. But if it was a regular attack on the power grid and the grid was down, we would still have power. So at that point, we would probably be working with neighbors, looking at plugging things in to try to have as much power as we possibly could to help share and to help, or whatever, to charge up tools or whatever the case may be. But those are things that people don't think about. They think, well, I got this many freezers full of meat, we're good to go. Well, there's only so much you can eat inside of a 3-4 day period of time, but you better get on it as quickly as you can, because once that gasoline runs out, and those type of things, unless you have some kind of alternative. If you got a big old propane tank and you are keeping your freezers running with propane, you're obviously going to have longer. But again, at some point, that resource is going to be dried up and it's going to be gone. So people really need to wrap their heads around the fact that that is a possibility and inevitability in a grid down long-term type of situation. You would be wasting so much food, it would be ridiculous. So making a plan, Now, granted, how many people can go ahead and put a root cellar in? Depending on obviously where you're at, what your resources are, how much you can handle financially, and then to do a cold storage room like that, not everybody can afford to do that. I would like to do that myself here eventually, but there's other priorities first. I got to show you something that happened here, guys, and this one was a trip, because I came out the other day, and I know what happened. I can tell you right now exactly what happened. So I was looking at the cherry tree the other day, and I'm like, what in the heck happened with this cherry tree? A lot of the cherries are gone. A lot of the cherries are gone. And some of you are going to go, see, I told you the birds would get the cherries. It wasn't a bird. It was not a bird at all. It was a raccoon. Raccoon got up in here and just ate every freaking cherry that it possibly could reach and get to. And that's what happened. So we still have some on the outer parts here. But like through the center here, we had a lot of cherries up through here. A lot of the cherries are gone. So it kind of sucks. But, you know, we still have some more cherries, you know, coming. So they can't get out on the limbs like that. It's too far. So, but yeah, so that kind of sucked. And Beck was like, man, I was really looking forward to having a big old, you know, production of cherries this year. And I'm like, yeah, me too. But apparently that's not going to be the case. Today, I picked up another thing of hose. I picked up a 100-foot long hose this time. And I put that in the greenhouse that we'll be able to utilize for the gardens, because the 75-foot hose, basically, hold on a second, I will walk over here. 75-foot hose from the tank took us to about this spot here, okay? Well, the 100-foot hose gets us all the way over, obviously, another 25 feet in, and we'll be able to get everything and be able to water everything easily. I also still have the 75-foot hose, so if we had to, we could tie both of those together and utilize them both together, and then that would obviously have way more than enough at that point. But I also today, and I will show you, so I got the new flags that people had sent in. So anyway, I want to, first of all, before we get into all this, I want to hear your guys' feedback. All right? So, new flagpoles, okay? I have a ton of American flags now because I utilize the poles. I put the flags aside, so I have plenty. So I have the four new flagpoles because I have 3 new flags, plus I want to change the position of that one. So that one is going to be put someplace else. But so I have the 3 new flags. Well, actually I had 2 flags that were sent to me, and I actually found another flag that somebody had sent, a Special Forces flag. So I will be getting them up as well. But I got to figure out where I am going to be putting, because I want my, and it's because I'm an American, so my American flag needs to be higher than every other flag out here. So I have to figure out where exactly I'm putting that and get that up so that it can fly. Okay, so I will definitely be doing that as well. But anyway, so I got those. I don't know if I'm going to get to it today, because if you look at the sky, very, very overcast. They're calling for rain this afternoon. So we're definitely going to be getting some rain. And so, you know, that's kind of, those things happen. So, but I needed to go, and I wanted to get more hose, and I wanted to get the flagpole so that I can get the new flags that I got up. Again, if you are interested in sending me a flag from your country, I'll be more than happy to fly your flag. As you can see, we have flags all down the driveway here. We have flags all over there. I have the flags over here and here. So, you know, definitely, and I still have a bunch of trees that I can utilize still if I want to put up more flags. So I definitely will be doing that. And so that's what's going to happen as far as that goes. But if you would like me to fly the flag of your country, if you don't see it here, I still need Australia again. I don't have Australia, but if you would like to send me that, I would be more than happy to fly that, okay? So, or whatever else. If you don't see your country's flag here, I'd be more than happy to fly it for you. So, just send it to my P.O. box, and I will get it up. So anyway, guys, I am going to jump off here for now. Tonight, join me. Special announcement, too, about the Prepper Get-Together. I probably will be getting into that first thing when we get online, and I'll be talking about the Prepper Get-Together and some updated information for you guys, especially for you that wanted to camp. Okay? So, good information. So you'll be happy to hear it, hopefully, and we will go from there. So, anyway, I am going to jump off of here for now. I will see you all tonight at 8 p.m. for the live stream. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I hope you had a fantastic week. Now we're heading into the weekend. So remember, guys, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from reaching your goals is you. That's it. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you are going to be just fine. All right? Again, like I said, stay away from people that want to tell you that what you can and cannot do. Don't listen to them. I will see you all tonight. I hope everybody has a great day. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.